We are a family of 6 who call the ocean our home. We feel incredibly blessed to be doing this life together as a young family, embracing the ups and downs of what is a life at sea. This is our floating home, Happy Days, and you are invited to follow along as we share this incredible adventure. Have a laugh and be inspired to pursue a life less ordinary. Click the subscribe button to keep up to date as we see where this journey takes us.
In the last episode, you saw us manage to leave Mexico and begin our sail to Costa Rica, successfully passing the Gulf of Tehuantepec, only to then get caught up in longlines in the middle of the night. Join us in this episode as we finish the passage. But for now, we're just going to go and do engine bay checks and pretty much do a mid-passage maintenance on that.
So my long tongs. They help reach.
I've been relegated from the kitchen to the toolbox.
Yeah. So I always check strainer, pullet, and the rainfall fuel filter. The other thing that we're going to check is the sail drive oil level. Engine oil just above that mid-range section. We're due for an oil change when we get there. Face value, it looks good. Colour, you can see it's not emulsified or anything like that, it's quite dark. Rightio.
This one is sleeping. She was up with you, wasn't she, through the lightning squalls?
Dodging squalls together last night.
Yeah, she was helping be eyes. And this guy's sailing us, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
I'll come trade with you when I'm finished looking at the engine bays with Dad.
Cool.
Doing a good job. And there must be 2 other people in here somewhere. Have you made a little cubby? Oh, there they are. Oh no, where's Pip?
I don't know where she went.
Okay. It looks very cozy in there though.
Hot.
Hot, is it?
Yeah, really.
Oh.
I put a window up.
You need it, yeah, if you flap that up, make a window.
I
So have you brought a few special things with you from your room?
do. Uh-huh.
Very cool. Have fun. I'm going to go back and help Dad.
So, things I learned last night. You know, when some people are listeners, I'm definitely lucky to hear things, changing the boat, changing the sails. Last night I heard a change in the engine. We run at 2,000 revs and we were plugging along, pushing 2 knots of tide as you do. But it was night time, I'd just come on shift, a bit sleepy, and I was like, oh, I reckon I just heard like a change in how the engine sound, like it almost like dropped down a few revs. Didn't happen, and it would have only been for 2 seconds. But it was enough for me to, have a look at the gauge and come over. I just stood on top of the engine bay, had a look at the water coming out of the exhaust, and just sort of listened. And it sounded fine, right? Once I was standing here, back to normal. But then I was like, full moon, I was looking out, and thought I could see something trailing off our stern. So I got our big flashlight. Sure enough, there was a buoy and 2 lines hanging off our starboard rudder. So what had happened, that noise that I'd heard was likely when this rope, not fishing line, rope had wrapped around the propeller, there would have been a moment, which I dare say is not good for it, where it would have constrained the propeller until it snapped the rope. And then when it snapped the rope, it was back to normal. So when I was standing here, it sounded alright. When I got in the water with the flashlight though, I could see that there was maybe 6, 8, maybe 10 wraps between the sail drive and the actual propeller. So I was on the prop shaft, if you like. which came off really easily. In neutral, I just pulled it and it kind of unwound the folding prop and it was fine. It was just the fact that it was at night in the middle of the ocean with heaps of jellies coming in my face. That was the thing that sucked a bit. But we really are praying that the sail drive oil is sweet.
Yeah, that it's not compromised.
Yeah, and because we've been in and around it quite a bit over the last month, we know what it should look like.
Yeah.
And we have the seals and everything for the bottom unit. The question is, where can we actually haul out to do it?
Yeah, you have to haul out if you need to change anything.
And that's not what we're going to do. The other thing is, we only run one engine at a time.
Yes.
So,
so this is the engine that was running. I think that when it wrapped around the propeller here, that's when it caused tension on the rudder on the starboard side, and that's when it dug in, and it snapped it at this side, but it dug it in on the rudder on the other side.
And long lines would be how long? Like
long lines? Oh, kilometres long.
Kilometre plus?
Yeah.
So, and maybe every 100, 200 metres
there's a buoy or a bottle, plastic bottle that they've tied on.
So it's dark, you can't see a thing, and there's no wind, so you're motoring.
Yeah.
And these things can run for kilometres. Same dark colour as the other side.
Yep.
Same level, which is important.
Yes. No milkiness at all.
So I was thinking, if you're going to be sailing along this coast, how should you do it? I don't know if this is the best way.
I don't know either.
But from a sailing perspective, you're smack between the T-pecker, that low piece of land that blows like heck in Mexico, and the Papagayos, which is a similar thing in Costa Rica, low land that blows like stick. So my point is, you either take it like 2 or 3 days offshore, which would double the trip,
or maybe we should hug the coast
or
more.
you come in, because we don't.
And then you might not get the same winds.
But we have been 20 odd miles off the coast most of the way. So is there a better way to do it? Possibly.
Things on making sure they don't land on the boat, Judy. Show us your weapon.
Horn.
A horn. Just try and scare them off. 18 and 19 knots apparent, and at 30 degrees, so we don't want our instruments.
Yeah, we've had two to try and it's right on us. I've been playing on a table with cars and watching a movie.
What movie did you watch?
I think it's called The Frozen Planet.
Oh, so a documentary rather than...
Yeah.
You want to go for a run around, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you should just do a little fitness. How's your middle of the passage?
Yeah, it doesn't actually feel like the middle of the passage. It's actually been really comfortable.
I just learned modes about holding things down too.
Alright.
Chris just said he let the holding tanks go. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, it's been actually really comfortable. It just seems like a normal home.
It does, eh?
You just can't go to shore and run around.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. And we haven't been doing school.
Yeah.
What has been some of your favourite things on passage so far?
We've gone for a swim.
Yeah, we've had a swim nearly every day.
Yeah. I really like that I can sleep in my bed.
You've been able to sleep in your bed, yeah. And you don't need a lee cloth. It's been pretty flat, hasn't it?
Yeah, because under me I had to sleep in Bella's bottom bunk.
You did.
With a lee cloth, and it was really hard to get out.
To go to the toilet and stuff, I know. So it's quite nice, this change. I've had a shower nearly every night. Yeah, actually every night.
Yeah.
Whereas on Touria, I would be lucky to shower once on passage. I'd have to get super brave to go down and shower, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Can you help Dad dodge the lightning?
Yeah. That was a first.
Yeah, it's a bit scary in the middle of the night seeing lightning in the ocean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
You were fast asleep. Yep, I was fast asleep in my comfy bed.
So that's night 4. Positive thing about night 4 is I haven't had to jump in the water. So that's a win. We do have lightning in this evening. You can probably see it over my shoulder. The positive thing about that is that we're past it. So it's the best place for lightning to be if there's going to be lightning. It doesn't seem to be forking into the water like last time. It sort of seems to be a bit high level, which is good. So we're doing alright. Under motor. Doesn't like to blow during the night here. Just during the day apparently.
It kind of looks like
oh
a snowman.
Ben, yeah, you've got quite a lot of similarities to that cloud there. You've both got the curly head tops.
White t-shirt.
What have we got going on here?
Using up the last bits before we check into a new country.
And crack open the oven. What have we got going on? Come on. What have you been? You've been busy as. Just loving it.
And some potatoes.
Nice.
And then we got sweet potatoes and boiled down the bottom.
What are you making now?
A bacon egg quiche.
Nice. And what are you up to, Chong?
Making my cars look better.
Having a full buff and polish.
Yeah, he's actually taking
It's like a repaint, mate.
Yeah, he is.
How's it, Capitan?
Yeah?
On watch and stitching.
Uh-huh.
Just getting it done now, isn't it? That's the motor in. Let's get there.
What are you guys doing?
How do I look?
Half done. Concentration face.
We've just stopped for a quick swim. In fact, I've just woken up from my nap after night shift. Chris has checked the rudders. Notice he's actually got the JB weld out again. He's noticed that there's some delamination on the front of the port rudder too.
This is the underwater epoxy that went on the rudder last night. Not a promo, but just good to have on board.
So the starboard rudder was the one that we got that rope caught round. I've been through a few long lines now, and obviously it catching on the front of the rudders as we slide over them. It's causing some delamination on the front there as well. So hey, we might have to get some rudder work done once we get to Costa Rica. What did you learn, Captain? Putting JB weld on?
Top of the boarding too? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Both rudders have damage, which is very frustrating. They're brand new.
Yeah, I know.
Held underwater, fine for it. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors around.
figure out. I'm pretty sure we could drop these rudders and still be in the water. Haven't had to do it, so I'm not 100% sure. But, bugger.
Holding on it tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside.
Look at this project. What a weapon. We've had a busted spanner holder for a long time. And you're getting it done.
Yeah, making a new one.
Love it. That's a good one, Joe. So we are carrying full sails in to our last night's sunset, and we are in the Papagayo region, which is this low-lying part of the Costa Rican Nicaraguan border, where the Caribbean winds, trade winds, come straight across the low-lying land from the northeast or east-northeast. You'll notice that's west, where the sun is setting, and our sails are set like so. So we are, I believe, in some sort of an eddy that's come out of the Papagayos as we approach it, but we're not far off it at all. I'm just perplexed as to why. Anyway, we've been sailing nicely all afternoon, but I thought by now we'd be reefing down and getting ready, but we're not. Hey, you look all red and hot. Did you have fun up there?
Yeah.
So here we are, a little white dot going through the Gulf of Papagayo. That's at 1 AM, and we've been positioning ourselves for the blow that is the Papagayo. We reefed down on sunset after a good sail. It's 14 gusting 24, and we've got 6 to 7 knots as we cross it, and the engine's on. So that wasn't anticipated. I'm like, where's the wind? Switch this engine off and get going. We're going to sail a lot quicker than we can motor. Anyway, I guess at least it's not 30 to 40 knots and cooking. Chona's just jumped into bed. She had an eventful watch dodging the local fishermen, but they weren't longlines, which is positive. She had the binoculars on them and was all over them. They were fishing off the side, it would seem, but there was a lot of them, and she managed to plot a course through them. And now the idea was to tag, and I'd get us through the blowy bit, and well, here I am talking. So let's hope it picks up soon. Oh, I just saw 8 knots. And we're away. We've got a double reef in the main, expecting big things, so it could be going quicker, but we'll take the 6.5 with 9 knots. It's good.
Nearly there.
Sleepy excitedness.
I don't know where Ted
He's probably still sleeping.
He's still
is. No.
sleeping.
Is he? Did he roll over?
He just
Oh, look, he's out here.
There he is.
He's out here.
Yes.
Alright. We're just going to set the sails and point to Marina Papagayo. These guys have all just woken up.
The final product.
Your passage project.
Yeah. I love that.
Look how tidy that is. Wow. Wow.
That's awesome.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Upcycling. Yeah, this used to be shopping bag, and this used to be her pants. Oh, you've done an excellent job.
Now, did you get all dressed up because we're almost there?
Yes, and look, we're gonna see my
Oh, hey, Coco. we've talked about you a long time.
Finally. It is time to put the quarantine flag up.
Yes! Let's do it. Hey! Get it up there. Yes, yes, yes. Woohoo! So we are cruising into Papagayo, and the check-in place is at a marina up here. Marina Papagayo, funnily enough. We're making water. We've got our water maker running, and it's up forward here. You can hear it. It sounds like an absolute truck, but it makes heaps of water, so I don't mind. Got to pull a couple of boards out to make that happen. But as far as a wrap on the passage, it was 5 days, almost on the dot. 5 days and 2 hours, and about 700 and something nautical miles. And I'm going to say 80 to 90% of the time we're pushing somewhere between 1.5 and 3 knots of tide or current. So that definitely slows you down a wee bit. The other takeaway that we had and we went from Huatulco on Mexican mainland, Pacific side, down to Papagayo in Costa Rica, right up the north of Costa Rica. We hugged the coast most of the way, and that's because of those two things that we mentioned already. That's the Tarpeca, or the Tipeca, the Gulf of Tipeca, the northern one, and then the Papagayos, both of which funnel wind from the Caribbean side. Am I looking forward to doing that again, or would I be keen to do it again? The actual passage, fine, but the long lines suck, to be frank. How would we do it differently next time for those who are heading south? We stayed about 20 nautical miles off the coast most of the way down. I'd probably go closer, as silly as that seems. It seems like these guys in their pungas or their longboats, fishermen, they travel about an hour out to their nets out to deeper water. They probably travel about 20 knots, so they're going to, in an hour, get about 20 nautical miles offshore. Their long lines run for kilometres, and it would seem rain, hail or shine, they're out there. So we found when we came through Nicaragua in particular, we came right into about 5 to 6 miles offshore, and we actually saw the guys running out to their long line, so we were inside them. So perhaps the takeaway is either go way offshore, like 100, 200 miles offshore, which isn't that far offshore, but it kind of is when you look at where Mexico is and Costa Rica. Otherwise, go in 5 to 6 miles. That would be our takeaway. Anyway, we're here and it looks absolutely stunning.
This is Marina Papagayo.
Marina Ops, this is Happy Days.
Okay, yes, I see you right off the T-head of B-Dock. You need to come back around. Do you see that Oceanus 50 right there next to you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you're gonna be in the berth just on the port side of them. There's a finger to the port, to the starboard. It's your choice if you want to go to which side you want to go.
Roger that. Thank you, mate. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Marina Papagayo. Just like that, we're checked in. Go, Pep. That's the quickest yellow flag mission ever. Yeah.
Hi guys, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Head over to our Patreon page and show your support. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thanks for our poorly trimmed tent sail.
I know. Those telltales are dancing
me-
around on the front there.
Yeah, look, release this and I'll...
There you go, babe. Now she's trimmed. Happy?
Happy hours.